It's like a hiccup, it won't last always. So pick yourself up, this too will fade. It's like a hiccup, don't you lose your way. So let it go, let it out, just like the just like
in Queens, Hollis, Queens, in New York for about 13 years, and it was a pretty rough neighborhood. I mean, Queens, 5 boroughs, you always get that rap about being a tough city, but Queens it was okay. It wasn't the best neighborhood, but you know, my parents provided everything I needed until we moved upstate, Middletown, New York, Orange County, and it's a ghost town up there. I mean, it's a nice, quiet town. You know, a perfect place to raise a family, which is why I moved up. My family wanted a better life, for me and my sisters. So that's the main reason why we're up there. So, you know, it's a great neighborhood. But the thing is, with me, I'm trying to pursue modeling, and being upstate is no marketing whatsoever. Got in touch with my agent through St. Clair, Demanti through a mutual friend, and from there he's been setting me up with interviews and photo shoots in the city. And as I was doing that, I just grew to the fact that I need to move down and be in the action instead of being upstate and traveling back and forth because agencies want what's available. Living in New York is very fast-paced. You have to be on your P's and Q's all the time. You can't just lollygag, especially something simple as walking down the street. You can't just look around and be, dazed. You have to know exactly where you're going. No stopping, because if you stop, there's somebody behind you ready to push you out the way. It's something as simple as that. But living in New York is definitely, I would say, a challenge. But I mean, that's what's good about New York. You get best of both worlds. You get the upside of it. You also get the downside of it, but that's what makes it New York. Modeling wasn't something I grew up wanting to do. I just happened to stumble upon it. I was working in my local mall where I live in Middletown, and they had a model scout tryout thing going on. And a couple of people say, Sam, you have a look, try to see if you can, get discovered, get some information about something like that. And it took a while for it to set in for me to actually think I want to take this on as a career because, you grow up, go to school, college, and that's it. I didn't even think about what modeling had to offer and didn't know what a portfolio was. I had no idea what modeling, I just was always had to look good. And they would just throw you in a picture. Nowadays, agencies want that body that can work the next day, the very next day. Agencies don't want to, especially the big time agencies, they don't want to have that, spend that time and mold you into what they want. You want to have to fit right in. And I wasn't ready for that. And from there on, I've been just trying to network and got in touch with small photographers, just build my way up. If I wasn't modeling, I would definitely take up a career of being a music producer because I've been a fan of music for as long as I can remember. My first instrument I picked up and I taught myself how to play the piano with the piano. So, I used to take piano lessons. They got a bit too hard at a young age. When you're young, you're not too focused. But now that I look back, I wish I could have continued those piano lessons, and that could have just, opened up a whole bunch of doors for me. But that's something I regret of not doing. If I could live anywhere else in the world than where I am now, I would definitely choose London, because I have family there, and I think just that whole experience from what I've seen in here is just a lot better than what I've seen here, because I've grown up in America, my whole life. I just want to experience something different. And the tea and crumpet stories, and just the way they carry themselves, and just the fashion over there, everything from that is just something that attracts me. I would definitely live there. Well, when I'm not thinking about modeling, some of the fun things I usually do is definitely try to go to the gym. That's the main thing, is to keep a healthy body, healthy looking body. I try to eat healthy, but that doesn't go. But I try to go to the gym on my spare time. I definitely love to play sports. My most favorite thing to do is sit down and read, find a good book. Not like a 100, 200 page book. I actually like 300 to 400 to 500 page books. And I'm a big science fiction guy because I'm a big fan. The best probably series of books I've ever read was Harry Potter. That's probably the best series of books I've ever read. I've read those books probably 2 or 3 times. And those books aren't short at all, especially the last 3. Those books can run about 400 pages long. For me to be selected as a potential top black model is, I can't even really explain how I feel, because last night I was just thinking of that. Like, it could have been anybody else to be in this position, and I really want to thank God. And it's a great privilege to actually be in this position, because there's 100 other black guys that want to be in my position right now, and I want to thank you for actually having the opportunity for me to be here in this neighborhood. But this is for me, it's a very big moment.
I remember when it used to be so hard, I just couldn't see the way for me. I remember when I used to cry myself to sleep over little things, momentary things.